All right, now I'm getting ready to do Diana, Prince of Wales. Sometimes we have to go back in time in order for us to see into the future a little bit. So we're going to do that. Now, in the last video, it didn't show a picture until about 2 minutes and 19 seconds into the video. Mercury is in retrograde, and I'm really having a freaking major issue with technology right now. Everything is like slow. So I'm doing a little bit of talking just to make sure the video, the picture comes up. Now, this is Diana's chart. It is a little backwards, and I do apologize, but you get the gist of it. So Princess Diana was born on July 1st, 1961. She was a Cancer. Now, if you look at her chart that I have up, you're going to see her dragon's head sitting in her second house. And the tail is in the 8th. The dragon's head is in Leo and the tail is in Aquarius. Now, anytime, I don't care where a placement is, anytime you have a dragon's head sitting in Leo, this is an individual who's destined to shine in the spotlight. And she did. She was the people's princess. Everybody loved her. And for good reason. She has beautiful stars. She cared deeply about humanity. Now, she had a dragon's tail in Aquarius. Anytime you deal with a dragon's tail in Aquarius, usually the past life comes back to you. So she was a humanitarian. She cared deeply about the less fortunate, the sick, the dying. She was a great advocate for AIDS, landmines. She was meant to be in the spotlight. Now, this did not please her husband at the time, and he did not like her getting all the attention, but it is what it is. Now, here's the interesting part about Princess Diana's stars. She may have had a dragon's head in Leo and a tail in Aquarius, and you're seeing that sitting in the 8th house. She also had a moon sitting there. Now, Charles, if you saw the video prior to this, Charles has a dragon's head in Taurus with the moon sitting there. Anytime you have a tail sitting on your dragon, this is where past life residue comes in, where you're feeling the emotions of your past life. And in her past life, Princess Diana was a humanitarian. She was a male in her past life, and she was humanitarian. She did something for humanity in some way, helping others, the less fortunate. She had a Jupiter sitting there. This is why she was so good with charities and helping. Jupiter in the 11th house. The 11th house is friends and wishes. Excuse me, not the 11th house. I'm looking at this backwards. That's my problem. She had a dragon's head in the 2nd in Leo and in the 8th house. Now, the 8th house is about death and drama, transformations. And after her divorce, she kind of transformed into a humanitarian advocate. I'm talking about her hidden dragon in the 11th house. She had a dragon's head sitting in the 11th, a hidden, that you can't see on the chart. And she had a tail in the 5th. And these were in Taurus and Scorpio. So the 5th house is Scorpio. There was a hidden dragon's tail in it, meaning also that Neptune was sitting in the 5th. That is deception within the realm of love and romance. And basically she was used, like I said in my first video, as a broodmare. She would make beautiful babies, and she did. But like she always said, there were 3 people in this marriage, and that's exactly what there was. But here's the interesting part about this. The day she died was August 31st, 1997. The moon was in Leo. She was actually operating on a lucky dragon's day. The dragon's energy should have protected her, but it didn't. And why is that? Well, simply put, sometimes in life, the outcome of things, human error and human tampering can get involved with tampering with the outcome of one's stars. I'm not going to repeat what I said in the first video, but by rights, she should have lived. What that tells me is this was a planned murder. Simply put, she had to be eliminated. And the monarchy did that. It was written in the stars. So yeah, this is a rare event when you actually die on your lucky dragon's day. You're not really should die on your lucky dragon's day. The stars don't permit it, but I have always said the will of man is always going to be stronger than one's stars. And if someone wants someone dead, you're going to be dead. Unless you dabble in the realm of the occult and you know how to protect and use your wards. Not everyone's educated in that. There's not really a whole lot more to say because this is the past, and the past is the past. But if you've done bad and you've done misdeeds, this one dragon that we're having placed right now, the Scorpio dragon, is going to come back and bite you in the ass in some sort of way. You could call this Lady Diana, Princess Diana's revenge. You can call it the stars and the fate of Prince Charles, King Charles, excuse me. But karma always finds its way back in some ways, and the universe is going to pay King Charles back for extinguishing such a bright light that made an impact on the whole world. Looking closer at Diana's chart, I want to show you the 7th house. If you look at the 7th house, go find number 7, and you're going to see a Saturn sitting in her 7th. Anytime a Saturn sits in someone's 7th house, it usually means they marry someone older than them by 10 to 15 years older. And obviously, she was, was she 12 or 15 years older than him? It always shows that you will marry older in life when you have that placement. Her Pluto, if you go and you look at Pluto, I've got the hiccups. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh my God. If you go and you look at her Pluto, which is sitting in her 3rd house, look for the P right there. I don't know if my pointer is going to show it, but 3rd house. If you look at where Pluto is, the 3rd house represents death, drama, rebirth, transformation is Pluto. But the 3rd house is our mental clarity. It's communication. It's transportation. And how did she die? She died in a car accident. Anytime you have Pluto and Mars in the 3rd house, you have to be very careful in cars and automobiles because you can get in an accident. Mars and its positive is action and desire. Mars is the desire principle and what we desire in a partner, male, female, or a partner non-binary. Okay. Pluto is death, drama, rebirth, and transformation. It's sitting in her 3rd house. Those 2 planets in her 3rd house can create car accidents. Now, this is also mental clarity, and there is there's drama with mental clarity. Now, Diana suffered from bulimia, and if you look at, let's see here. She had a Saturn in Capricorn, and anytime you're dealing with Saturn in Capricorn, this can create depression, okay? Capricorn rules the monarchy in some way, but it is also very sectarian energy. It's snobby, high society, secret societies. It's the Illuminati energy in some ways, Saturn and Capricorn. So you throw that in with her third house having Mars and Pluto, and it is a recipe for disaster. Like I said, the interesting part about this is she died on one of her lucky dragon days. And she shouldn't have died that day. Okay? She should have lived. But the will of man is always going to be more powerful than someone's stars. And if someone wants your ass dead, then your ass is dead. Especially if it's the monarchy. Okay? She was a very beautiful soul. She had very beautiful stars. She was a Cancer, and all she wanted love. She wanted to be loved by her husband, not just a sexual love. But one thing about Cancers, like all water signs, is they respond to touch and feeling. And, it's not sexual per se. They want someone to put their arms around them, squeeze them, hug them, and tell them, hey, babe, it's going to be okay. She never got that. She married into the monarchy, the stiff upper lip, the cold, calculated monarchy ruled by Capricorn. So, they extinguished a beautiful light. They needed to get her out of the way, simply put. Now, I'm going to elaborate a little more on Diana in my Patreon. I am running a special in Patreon right now. Go to Astrology Witch in Patreon. You can pick up that special. I'm running for $5 a month. You get the mother tier, which you get the days of caution. You get the full forecast, new moon, full moon. And you get various astrological articles. The crone tier is more for astrology and metaphysics and occult. So if you want to know more about the occult, stuff like that, then you go to that page, the crone. But the mother one I'm running a special on, and it's $20 off for the year. So, $5 a year is what, $60? You're getting $20 off. That's $40 a year. That's an incredible deal for giving for this information. Okay. And I'm going to discuss a little more for my Patreons about Princess Diana, because the reincarnation process is evident in one of the royal family's children. And that's all I'm going to say. Those are the stars of Princess Diana. Like I said, there's no future in our past, but sometimes we must move forward, but we also have to look to the past to learn from our past mistakes. I do apologize that this is backwards. It's just one of those things. But if you have any questions on Princess Diana, please don't hesitate to message me. This is just a little short and sweet, brief explanation of her stars. She was a beautiful soul, and I do believe she's already been reincarnated. Her reincarnation came quick and fast. Other reincarnations take 50 to 100 years before we're reincarnated again. But she had unfinished business on this dense physical plane. Join Patreon and you can listen to the rest of the story. I'll get that out tomorrow. For all of you out there, if you're interested in Patreon, check it out, and I should be back on here in a few days. Have a good Monday evening. Good night.